Alright, this is the homework check for the optional Wednesday homework for 4th grade. That is in the Q2 week 9 group of lessons. And here we're going to be doing some rounding. We're going to take this number, 1,478,327, to all these different places, okay? So the first one, we're going to do 100. So you underline the hundreds place. I like to circle and draw my little arrow on the digit immediately to the right. And look what we're going to do. We're going to drop down everything up until the comma, not the comma, the underlined digit, and stop because it might change. Is 2 high enough to round the 3 up? No, it's not. So we say we have two choices, go up or stay the same, and this one's going to stay the same. This 0 that we made is to remind us to make everything from that point on all the way to the right zeros. All right, next one is to the nearest 1,000. So we underline the thousands place, and we can copy down everything up until the underlined digit. We have to stop. The 8 might change. Let's see. The 3 tells us what to do. Do we go up or stay the same? It stays the same. From this circle, everything becomes zeros. Okay, last one. We've got the 10,000s place. So that's the 7. Let's do our circling. We'll bring down the 1, we'll bring down the 4, and then stop when we get to the underlined digit because it might change. Is 8 high enough to round the 7 up? Yes, it is. So it goes up to an 8. And from this point on, everything else becomes zeros. All right, find the difference. 38,230 minus 9,324. Now 0 ones, take away 4 ones, no can do. Let's borrow. 10 minus 4 is 6. 2 minus 2 is 0. 2 minus 3 in the hundreds place. Can't do that. Let's borrow. 12 minus 3 is 9. 7 minus 9. Can't do that. Let's borrow. 17 minus 9 is 8. And bring down your 2. Final answer, 28,906. Finding the quotient. Dividend divided by divisor equals the quotient. So let's put our divisor on the outside, and we're going to stretch out this dividend, okay? Now I know the first 2 digits, I'm going to need both of them because you can't get a group of 7 out of 4, all right? The next one, I'm going to leave a little space. I need a 1 and a 6, and draw my lines right after those. And here we go. How many groups of 7 can we get out of 42? 6, because 6 times 7 is 42, with nothing left over. Now, just to be consistent, you can put it up there if you want to. How many groups of 7 can we get out of 1? Not a single group of 7. 0 times 7 is 0. Subtract, you get 1. Bring up the 1. And 7. How many groups of 7 can you get out of 16? 2. Because 2 times 7 is 14. And look, we've got this left over. It's remaining. Okay, so it's called the remainder. And you just put R and how much is remaining. So the final answer is 602 with a remainder of 2. Sometimes the question is about the remainder if it's a word problem, so be careful. The cafeteria has 9 round tables, 18 rectangular tables. If each round table has 12 chairs and each rectangular table has 26 chairs, how many chairs are there in the cafeteria all together? So I want you to imagine 9 rounds and they have 12 chairs. Those must be gigantic round tables, I'm just saying. And then we're going to add it to what we find for the rectangular. We've got 18 rectangular tables times every single one has 26 chairs. So we've got 2 things to do before we can tell how many chairs are all together. All right, so if you don't know your 12s, you can really imagine it in your head. You know it's going to be 9 times 2. And then 9 times 1 is 9 plus 1 is 10. So you write your answer right underneath. Bring down your plus sign. Now 18 times 26. Well, we're going to let's break the 26 apart just to be consistent. 18 times 20. 18 times 6. Bring down the 0. 2 times 8 is 16. 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1 is 3. So this is part of our answer. 6 times 8 is 48. 6 times 1 is 6 plus 4 is 10. So those are the 2 that we add together, 360 and 108. There we go. Now we've got 468. Now we get to add the 108 and the 468. So I'm going to do that over here. 8 and 8 is 16. 6 and 1 is 7. 4 and 1 is 5. So 576 chairs. All right, Josiah has 128 toy cars. If he organizes them into groups of 7, how many cars will be in the final group? Oh, okay. Now he's putting them into groups. That sounds like division. So let's do that. I know I'm going to need to put the first 2 digits together. And keep drawing those too big. So here we go. How many groups of 7 can we get out of 12? Just 1, and 1 times 7 is 7. Subtract and we get 5. So it comes up here. Now how many groups of 7 could we get out of 58? My favorite one, 8 times 7. Bouncy guy is 56. Now look what we have here. We have this left over. So he's going to have 18 groups that have 7 cars, and the last group is your remainder, and it is 2. So we say 2 cars in the final group. All right, create a pattern with the rule n times 3 plus 1. So we'll do a little table. In the top row, we'll do whatever our number, that's why I'm calling it n, is, and we can start anywhere we want to. I generally start with 1. So let me split this up. And when I do a pattern, I like to do 5. Okay, so if we start and n is 1, 1 times 3 is 3 plus 1 is 4. If n is 2, 2 times 3 is 6 plus 1 is 7. If n is 3, 3 times 3 is 9 plus 1 is 10. And if n is 4, 4 times 3 is 12 plus 1 is 13. And if n is 5, we've got 5 times 3 is 15 plus 1 is 16. And there you have your pattern. Okay, I told you this day was coming when we're going to have to compare fractions. So we're going to make 3 stacked rectangles. And I've told you before, you must color them in left to right. You must divide them all vertically. So the first one on the top, we're going to make match 6/7. So I've got to have 7 pieces, and that's an odd number. So I'm going to put the odd one in the middle, and then I have to have 3 on each side. And we get to color in all but one of them, 6 of them. All right, so there's 6/7. Now we get to split it into 10. Woo, 10's even though. So I split it right down the middle, and I need 5 on each side. Now, 5 is odd, so I'm going to put 1 in the middle and 2 on each side. 1 in the middle, 2 on each side, and we get to color in just 3 of them. So far, so good. Nothing confusing yet. And the last one, 2/4, which is even. So split it into 4 pieces, and we get to color in 2 of them. Alright, so which one should be first? We're going least first, so that should be the 3/10. So I'm going to do my answer over here. 3/10, comma. The next one should be the 2/4, that's at the bottom. And the last one, 6/7, because it's the greatest. Okay, now adding our mixed numbers, 5 and 4/5 plus 3/5. Now watch, that you have to imagine the 0 being there, okay? But we've got 4 pieces plus 3 pieces, 7 pieces, and the pieces are fifths. And 5 plus nothing is 5. But looky here, we have an improper fraction. That means we can pull another whole out of the 7/5. So it would be 5/5 that we're pulling out, and we're going to get one more whole, so that'll be 6. And how many fifths will we have left over? If we pull out 5/5, we'll have 2/5 left over. All right, now finding the difference. 3 and 5/8 minus 2 and 3/8. It's not complicated this time. 5 pieces minus 3 pieces is 2 pieces. 3 minus 2 is 1. However, remember us talking about equivalent fractions, and I told you you could double, but you could also halve your numbers. So we're going to do this. This one, it's called reducing to the simplest form. So our one whole stays the same. We are reducing this 2/8. Half of 2 is 1. Half of 8 is 4. So the best way to say this is 1 and 1/4. Okay? The last one. One of Eric's shoelaces is 10 and 2/5 inches long. The other shoelace is 8 and 3/5 inches long. How long are his shoelaces altogether? Poor Eric, he has broken a shoelace, obviously. But it does say all together, so we're going to add them. 10 and 2/5 plus 8 and 3/5. Remember, you can call them pieces, but they're fifths. 2 pieces plus 3 pieces equals 5 pieces and they're fifths. And 10 plus 8 is 18. What do you notice about this? It's equivalent to 1, isn't it? So we don't have 18 holes. We really have 19 holes. Awesome. We're finished for the day.